truth be told, if I don't have faith in God, I can't be here, because sometimes when I look at what I want, where I want to be, things I have to do, I'm like, where's the funding going to come from? But at the end of the day, God kept showing up. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite Dimmi Loka. For those of you that are seeing me for the first time, I am a content creator that makes videos talking all about God, finance, self-development, and sharing my unique journey with all of you. All this to make you and I better people. So if these are the things that you are interested in, please hit the subscribe button and join the family. We are so happy to have you around. Welcome and welcome back, guys. How are you doing? Today we are about to talk about an interesting topic. This topic means a lot to me, and I hope that after this video it can encourage you on your journey with God. It's so weird that the name of this series is Faith Talks, but we haven't actually talked about faith in its entirety. To be honest, faith means a lot to me, and let me share this little secret with you all. I've been thinking that if I have a daughter, I would give her the name Faith, even if my husband maybe chose a different name. But at the end of the day, I will still give her the name Faith, because faith means so much to me. In fact, I'm a product of faith. I did not come from a rich family. I came from a place that you just have to fight things out. You have to, struggle to survive and things like that. But thank God that I'm here today, and every aspect of my life, everything I have, everything that I've done, everything that I will still do, it is coming from a place of faith. If I don't have faith in God, guys, I can't be here. The truth be told, if I don't have faith in God, I can't be here, because sometimes when I look at what I want, where I want to be, things I have to do, I'm like, where's the funding going to come from? But at the end of the day, God kept showing up. God kept pulling me through, and I'm so grateful for having Him in my life. So today we are going to be talking about faith. Faith in its entirety. How you can have more faith in God, some of the misconceptions about faith, and some of the biblical examples that can inspire us and help us in our journey with God. So if this is something that you're interested in, please stick around with me. Let's do this, because this topic is so important as a Christian, as a lover of Christ. This topic is crucial. So let's start off with the definition of faith. Let's go to Hebrews 11 verse 1. Guys, the last time I traveled home, I forgot my Bible, so I just wrote out these Bible passages in a book. Please pardon me. So let's read it out. It says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the confidence we have on things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, the assurance of things not seen. Let me tell you one thing. For you to be a follower of Christ, the first step is to have faith in God, because we can't even see God. So how are we going to be sure that this higher being exists? How can we believe in this superior being that we can't even see? It is only through faith. So that's why I said that this topic is very crucial as a Christian, because we can't see God. Most of the things He has to do in our life, you can't even see it. You just have to believe, and then it gets done. Let's talk about Abraham, the father of the faithful. We can't talk about faith without talking about Abraham. Abraham has to cross a lot of hurdles in his life. At the time, God told him, Abraham, leave your homeland, leave your father's land, leave the place you are familiar with, the place you grew up in. Leave this place and go to a strange place you haven't been before. Abraham doesn't even know that if this land is fertile, if he can survive there. What are the neighbors like? Abraham did not know about all these things, but he just knew one thing: faith. He trusted God. He was like, God, I know I don't know about this place, but I'm just going to trust you. I'm going to trust you. And he did that. When God told him, Abraham, you're going to have a son, Abraham was old, almost at 100 years. His wife Sarah was also old. So how was he going to believe that he's going to have a son? Because biologically, they've crossed that level. But Abraham was like, God, I trust you. I trust your judgment. And it happened. When Hagar and Sarah were having issues, Hagar was Sarah's servant. And Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham so that he could sleep with her and have a child through her, which Abraham did. And then they had Ishmael. But at the time, Hagar started making life unbearable for Sarah. It was a tough moment for him because at the end of the day, even though we love Isaac, even though that Isaac is our forefather, Ishmael was Abraham's first son. And in my culture, in my tribe, we value first sons so much. We see them as the people that are going to carry on the legacy of the father. But Abraham trusted God. He was like, God, what am I going to do? God told him, listen to your wife. And he did just that. He had to send Ishmael and Hagar away. He trusted God all this while. He never argued with God. Now, coming to the toughest of them all, the toughest of the toughest, was when God told him, go and kill Isaac. Abraham must have felt, God, this is my only son. I've not even enjoyed him yet. And you want to take him away from me. But Abraham knew that whatever God is taking away from you is going to replace it with something much more bigger, more better, more awesome, more whole. Abraham listened to God. And after crossing these hurdles and more, God told him, you are indeed a faithful servant. Now go outside, look up to the sky. Can you count the stars? Abraham was like, no, God, how can I count them? They are so numerous. Then God told him, that is how numerous your descendants will be. Faith requires us to step out into the unknown. Faith requires us to be a little bit weird. Faith doesn't follow the conventional method. When you're going to think about it, how was Abraham going to have a son at 100 with his wife? How? But that is how crazy faith is. And that is why not everybody could have faith, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to believe in God, to trust someone you can't even see. You don't even know how all these things are going to come by. But let me tell you one thing. I am a product of faith. God has been running it up for me through faith. God told me, I know you don't have much, right? But watch how I'm going to bless you with just imagination and passion. Keep dreaming. Keep putting in the work. I'm going to bless you. And he has been doing that. There was a video I made, the first episode of this series, where I shared my journey with God. I gave out every detail about my life. And after watching this video, you can go watch that video, because that video is going to help you to process everything I'm saying in this video. My life, everything that God has done for me was just purely faith. I never knew how they were going to happen, but I just believed God. And he did just that. Let's look at Peter's story. When Jesus Christ told him to walk on the sea, Peter was scared, but he had this faith. He was like, okay, that's my Lord. I trust you. I believe you. He started walking on the sea. But when the wind came, his faith started reducing and he started to sink. Even though that his faith has reduced, Jesus Christ reached out and saved him. That is the kind of God we serve. We don't serve a God who is just going to leave us to the adversities. We don't serve the kind of God who is going to say, oh, I told you to trust me, then you lost faith in me, so what am I going to do about it? We serve a God who is going to follow us through it all, who is going to stick with us. Even when our weaknesses and our imperfections show, we have a God who is going to stick with us through it all. When Peter started to sink, Jesus Christ reached out to him. Jesus Christ was not like, I told you to have faith. Even the wind, nothing can stop you. We all know that. But Peter was just being human. And even at that point, Jesus Christ saved him. That's the beauty of faith. Let's look at the story about the woman with the issue of blood. She has been having this challenge for 12 years. She has gone to many places, but no one was able to cure her. When she learned that Jesus Christ was coming, the only thing she told herself was, oh my God, I just need to go and meet this man. I don't even need to spend time with him. I just need to touch his garments and I will be healed. Look at that faith. She wasn't asking for time with Jesus. She wasn't asking for, oh, I need to speak with him. And no, all she needed was, let me just touch this guy and I'll be healed. And she did exactly that and she was healed. That's why a lot of people can't believe in you. Faith is so strange. With faith, you can't add things up. With faith, you're just going to be surprised. Like, how is this going to work? You don't even know how it's going to happen. That's why they say that successful people are people who are crazy enough to believe that they are going to be successful. And that is how faith is. For you to manifest things, for you to bring things into your life, for you to be on God's side, you just have to be that crazy. You just have to have faith in Him. Even when nothing around you makes sense, even when nothing around you tells you to have faith, just have faith in God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Without faith, it's impossible to have all these good stuffs into your life. Without faith, it is impossible. I remember when I started content creation, the only thing I had was a gift mic and a phone. But I had a passion. I knew I wanted to do this. I told God about it. God said, don't worry, keep going, my daughter. You'll see how I'm just going to run everything up for you. Look at us right now. He gave me a tripod, gave me a better phone, gave me a LED light. Like, He gave me all the necessary equipment I need to make a good video. That is the kind of God we serve. We don't serve a God who is going to leave us empty-handed. We serve a God who is going to stick with us every bit of the time. That is the kind of God we serve. Let's see James 1 verse 2 to 3. It says, consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet various trials, because faith produces endurance. James said it all at this point. Faith produces endurance. One thing with having faith in God is that it gives you the strength to traverse through life. Life is not easy. Life is not a funny place to be. Life is so difficult, and sometimes I wonder how people do it without God. Like, how do people live without God? How? Because I've tried it. That's exhausting. It doesn't make sense. You won't have rest. There's no peace in trying to do everything by yourself. Guys, I've tried it. I shared it in that video. That's why I'm saying, after watching this video, go watch that video. I will still link it in the description. That video is necessary. Like, how do people do that? Because it's exhausting. When you have faith in God, you can be able to endure all these trials. It took me 5 years to be in this institution. I love education. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love education. I love education so much. But after I left high school, I had to wait 5 good years for me to be here. I had to wait. So you can see that it's not even easy to have faith in God. It's not easy. But it's worth the while. Guys, it's worth the while. To have faith in God. Once you have faith in God, He's going to equip you with everything you need to traverse through this life, because life is not easy. And I'm not going to come up here and pretend. It has not been easy for me, and I know that it's not easy. But with God, all things are possible. Let's look at the story of Joseph. Joseph, at a young age, has the vision of how his life is going to be like, how successful he's going to be in the future. He had the vision. But was it easy? No. His life was filled with ups and downs. Sometimes it feels like as if he's getting there, but he's going to move, 2 steps backward. When you move a step further and then 2 steps backward, it's like, am I moving forward or am I going backward? You have to be caught up in such dilemma. That was how Joseph's life was. He grew up, with his brothers in his father's house. His father was a very rich man. But his siblings hated him because of his vision. Even at a point, his father was like, what do you mean? Do you know who I am? Do you know who Jacob is? The son of Isaac, the grandson of Abraham. Do you know who we are? But all these things didn't matter. His siblings sold him. He went to Potiphar's house. It felt as if, okay, now I'm getting closer to my future. But then he had to go to prison. It was like 10 steps backwards. But all this while, Joseph had faith in God. He never deviated from who he is. He stood by it. At the end of the day, he received his crown. Even at the point when their father died, his siblings were like, maybe now our father is late. Joseph might want to harm us because of what we did to him. But Joseph wasn't thinking that way again. Joseph knew that they were an important part of his story. Without what they did, he wouldn't be this successful. So I told them, no, you don't have to worry. I'm here because I have to save your lives and the life of thousands of people. I know that life is tough for you right now. I know that maybe you don't even know where your next supply will come from. I know you might be having health issues, emotional issues, financial issues. But I know that things might be so tough that you don't even know how you're going to get by. But I want you to have faith in God. God is watching you. God is seeing you. He won't leave you. He's your father. Like I always say, before anything, know that you are God's child first. You are his child. Just have faith in him. The woman with the issue of blood had faith in God. It took her 12 years. 12 years to receive her healing. But when it was time, she never held herself back. She was open to receive it. I just hope that you have not yet gave up. I just hope that you have not closed your door for God to come in. Because God is on his way. He's on your issue. He's working on you. He's pruning you. I don't know how bad life might have been for you. I've had bad times too. But one thing remains unchanged is the certainty that God is with us. I just want you to, after watching this video, even if you did not learn anything, I want you to learn to have faith in God. I want you to trust him again. I want you to give him another chance again. God is the best planner. He's the best director. Just let him handle your life. Let him manage you. God is the best manager. Let him manage you. And you will see how beautiful your life will be. Just like Matthew 17 verse 20 says, if we have faith as small as a mustard seed, then we can have whatever we ask God for. Remember, the mustard seed is one of the smallest of seeds. God isn't even asking too much. He's not even telling you, let your faith be as big, as huge as the mountains. No. He's just saying, let it be as small as the mustard seed. Then you can have everything. So let God in your story. Trust him again. He said, as small as the mustard seed, we can have everything. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just a product of faith. I remember how tough it was for me from high school. Let me even start talking about at the age of 16. That was the turning point of my life. Yes, because that was when I started taking responsibility for myself. I had to go out there and work, make money, plan for my future and stuff like that. At the age of 16, I knew how tough it was for me. I knew how it is. But look at us today. We are doing what we've been dreaming about. I'm in school. I'm in the university like I've always wanted. I'm making my content, doing what I want, doing what I'm passionate about, teaching girls, talking to girls. Since I was a little girl, I've always talked to girls. Do you know, at a point in my life, older girls would come to me to ask me for relationship advice or, life advice. I didn't even know that I was giving out something to these people. I didn't even know I had those qualities. To be honest, I never knew it. It was until this point that I recognized that this has been me all these days. And I'm so grateful and I'm so happy that I'm still on that path. I'm still on this path because I believed in God. At the time, I've had those, advances to go off my path, to go up the godly path. To be honest, when life was so mean and tough for me, I've had those urges. But because I believed in God, I'll always tell him, God, look at this. I'm helpless. I don't want this, but God, please lead me through it. And he would always lead me through it. God is the best thing that can happen to me and you. So just trust him. Have faith in him. That's the only thing I will always say to you. Have faith in him. Go to him for everything. Okay? He will see you through. The only way for us to have all we want is to have faith in God. Just like God said in Mark 11 verse 24. Whatever you ask me for, believe it's already yours. Believe. Believe that all you are asking God for is already yours. Be that crazy. Be that delusional. Because that's the only way you can get what you want. It doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be factual. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to follow the conventional method. You just have to believe God for it. Where I am today, guys, it's so surprising to me that if I'm trying to add things up, I don't even know. How was I able to pay my school fees? Like, how was I able to do all those things? I don't even know. But it's always God. It has always been God. God is telling you today to trust him, to believe in him. He got beautiful plans for you. Just like he said in Jeremiah 29 verses 11. I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and the hope. Let's get to the next part of this video, which is some of the misconceptions about faith. Yes, there's a lot of misconceptions about faith, but I'm just going to touch a few. Other ones might in one way or the other relate to this, if this makes sense. So number one misconception is with faith, I will get whatever I want. With faith, you can get what you want. Just like I'm doing content creation right now, this has always been what I want. I've wanted this. And some of other things I'm doing, which I can't at this moment share with you, that has always been what I want to do. But most times, faith is trusting in God's will. Look at this. I shared the story in that video I'm referring you guys to, but I will also share it here so that you will understand what I'm trying to say. At a time in my life, I applied for a job, I went to the interview, and I got the job. But the problem here is that it was not that exact position that I applied for that I got. So I got a lesser position. I was mad. I was crazy. I was like, God, I'm better than this. The person who stepped into that position I wanted, it seems as if, to me, I'm equally good for it. She ain't better than me. You know, when you get caught up in such scenario, that was how I felt. But God was like, girl, you don't know what I have for you. So I stepped into that role because I needed a job badly that time. I needed money. A year later, that position I applied for, the girl who stepped into that role got into a huge debt and she has to lose the job. Then God put me in that position. So when I learned about, what she got herself into and all that, I was like, I was so grateful to God. I was like, God, thank you for saving me. Thank you for not allowing me to step into that role that time because I might make such mistake. God kept me by the side to learn more about the company, learn about how things are done there. So when he felt I was equipped enough, he said, okay, girl, it's time to step into that role. And when I stepped into that role, I did an amazing job until I left that role. That is the kind of God we serve. Sometimes you're not getting something from God. Isn't Him denying you? It was His protection. He's redirecting you. Maybe you're not equipped enough to handle it. Maybe you're not in the best place to handle such thing that if He gave it to you, you will mismanage it. And that's not what we want. To me, I hate regrets in my life. I hate regretting things. And that's why God is trying to save us. So faith is not just about, I'm going to get what I want. Faith is about trusting in God's will. It's about telling God, I need this, but I'm trusting you with this. I'm trusting you with my life. Lead me, direct me. This is what I want. And if you don't get that, don't feel bad. Don't get angry. Just like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. Just like in my own case, I couldn't connect the dots looking forward, whereby I had to be in a lesser role. But a year later, looking back, and I've understood why I had to be there at that point in time. I hope that you can understand this. This is one of the vital lessons I learned in life that up to this day, it still guides me. When I don't get something from God, I'll be angry, I'll be sad. I'm a human being, I will feel hurt. But 2 days into that pain, I'm like, maybe God is trying to save me from something I can't even see. Who knows? And also, I want to share this story about my friend. My friend contested for a position in the department. She was disqualified. She felt bad. Her classmates insulted her. They added salt to the injury. They made her feel more bad about herself. But she never knew what God was planning for her. She wanted a position in the department, but God was planning to put her in the SUG. That is the whole school. The Student Union Government. That is where God wants to put her. But when she got rejected in the department, she felt bad. Obviously, she can't connect the dots looking forward. But after this whole time has passed, when she looked back, she was able to connect the dots. God did not allow me to be here because He knew that if I'm here, I wouldn't dream bigger. I wouldn't want to be here. I'll be very, very occupied with this position. God doesn't want that for me. God doesn't want me to play small. He wants to give me the bigger picture. I wish we can approach our life, our struggles with this mindset. So the next step is, if I don't feel it, then I don't have faith. We usually base our faith in our emotions, but sometimes that is not usually the case. There was a time I encountered spiritual warfare, and I also shared that experience in one of my videos, which I'll also tag it up here. I'll also link it in the description. During this time, it was as if I wasn't feeling God. I'm like, God, I don't feel you. Then He taught me that His existence is not based on my feelings. The fact that I don't feel Him doesn't mean He's not there. He's there with me. And so sometimes we make that mistakes. Sometimes when I want things from God, especially big things, I'm like, oh God, I don't feel like I can have this. But in my mind, I know this is what I want. And I'm working towards having that. So don't base your spirituality on your emotions. Our emotions are the flesh. The flesh is different. The flesh is weak. So even if you don't feel it, just know that God is there. Even if you don't feel it, just tell yourself, I believe I can have this. Just tell yourself, I believe in God. I have faith in this. Okay? So our faith is not based on our emotions. Whether you feel it or not, God is there. God is in existence. So whether I feel it or not, God is there for me and I can have what I'm asking Him for. The next misconception is faith means no doubt at all. So that's a lie. Even when having faith in something, you can doubt. But this is not like a green light for you to go and start doubting. No. Strive to have faith. But sometimes as human, we are doing life for the first time. Life didn't come with a manual. So sometimes we might encounter things that might throw us off, that might challenge us, that might push us, that might, shake us. Those things are real, right? But you should know that faith doesn't mean no doubt at all. There was this experience in the Bible from a father whose son is possessed. He said something, I believe, help me overcome my disbelief. So he recognized the fact that he has this doubt in him. But he believed, he knew that God can do this. Sometimes we get caught up in this dilemma. I believe I can have this, but inward, that something is saying, is this possible? But let me tell you one thing, you can't really eradicate this little voice. You can't really let it go. Because sometimes in some experiences we get in life, we are just first timers. So tell me, how won't you be shook? How won't you be surprised? Then it's not possible, right? But it's about accepting that, God, I believe you. I know that I'm doubting. I know that this might not be realistic, but God, I have faith in you. It's about sticking to your faith in the midst of that doubt. It's about not letting go. It's about not slipping off. I remember a time in my life when I was going through spiritual warfare. I also shared this in that video I talked about previously, and it will also be linked in the description. This time it was hard for me to pray. It was hard for me to read the word. I'm this person that loves reading. Do you know I will read books? I will read self-help books. I will read any type of book except the word. Once I bring up the word, then I'll feel tired. I'll start feeling somehow. That wasn't an easy time for me. At the time I was like, I love reading. I love reading books. I love discovering new things. So why can't I read the word? I was conflicted. But that period taught me something. Sometimes we feel that when we pray to God morning and night, read the word, when you have this routine, that is when we are with God. But sometimes God values it more when we have these struggles, but we still stuck with Him. When Satan is pushing us, when the enemy is working so hard to take us away from God, but if we still stick by Him, I think sometimes that is what God values most in our lives. And that was what that experience taught me. At the time I was like, I know I'm have time reading the word, praying, but every day I try so much to pray. Even some days I pray just once. Some days I might skip reading the word, but the next day you see me rushing to the word. I'm like, no, God, I have to read. So sometimes God values these struggles. God values seeing us like this. Because that routine, when things are going smoothly, we pray in the morning, wake up, we pray in the morning, read the word, go about our day. It's normal. God values that. But when we encounter these struggles, are we able to still stick by God? A lot of people, when they get to spiritual warfare, they sleep off. Yes, they sleep off because they can't handle it. Faith doesn't mean no doubt at all. Faith means even in the doubt, even in the fear, I still believe God. That is what faith is. So the last misconception is faith is not passive. Faith is active. Yes, sometimes you feel like, oh, I believe in God, and that is it. No. There's this meme or slang we use here. We say show workings. Guys, show workings. Show workings means show us what you're up to. Show us how hard you are working on this, right? And that is what faith is. Faith is show workings. Faith is not something we just feel in our heart. Faith is not something that is left inward. Faith is faith. Faith deals with work. Just look at Abraham. Abraham showed workings though. Abraham showed workings. The woman with the issue of blood, she showed workings though. She didn't just sit here and be like, yeah, I believe God. I trust you, God. I have faith in you. No, she had to step out. That is what faith is. Faith requires us to step out into the unknown. You have to work hard. Just like when I started content creation. Man, I stepped out. I just have a gift mic and a phone. I was to make something out of nothing. But I started doing it. I started learning about editing, recording, and all of those things by myself. Nobody taught me. I paid nobody. That is faith. Because I believe so much in this. That was why I was able to move out of my comfort and to be able to do things like this. That is faith. Faith isn't sitting one place and be like, yeah, I believe God. No. Faith requires you step out. You work for it. Move through the hurdles. Sleepless night, cries, getting out of your comfort zone. That is faith. So faith deals with work. Okay? Faith is not passive. It is very, very much active. So we are getting to the next part of this video, which is why people struggle with faith. There are a number of factors why people struggle with faith. First of all is disappointment from the past. Some people, when they are working on something and they are disappointed, and then it's hard for them to believe in that thing again. But let me tell you, because you failed at something doesn't mean that you don't have to have faith in God. I've been disappointed a couple of times. When I wanted to come to uni, I wrote JAMB for 4 times and I passed all. But because of one issue or the other, I didn't go to school at that time. But all the time, the next year, I kept writing. The next year, I kept writing. I kept writing. It was just 1 year that I skipped because I was working at the time. So I was like, I don't want to go to school now and I just want to work so I can get more money. But other years, I kept on applying until this worked. I didn't give up because I was disappointed. Maybe I was disappointed the first time, second time, the third time. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this again. No, I kept on working for it because this is what I want. So, because you are disappointed at something doesn't mean you should stop working on it. No, keep working. God is seeing you. If it requires that you go back to the drawing board, go back to the drawing board. Just keep on trying to find ways to make things work. Because you're disappointed doesn't mean that God has failed you. No, God is still there. Maybe that thing is not for you. Maybe it's not yet time for you to have it. So why give up? Why stop believing in God because you can't have these things? It doesn't make sense. Every disappointment is a blessing. To me, I don't think I can really lose in life. Like I used to say this, I don't think I can really lose in life. If I didn't win at something, then I'm going to learn something from it. My mindset is, okay, this didn't work out. What am I going to learn from this? I'm going to pick out some vital lessons I'm going to implement in the next project or in other things that I'm doing. And it's going to work. I'm doing this right now because of all the books I've read at a young age. Then I was reading those books to entertain myself because I started enjoying it. I didn't know that it was building me for this until when I got here. I tried to write a book, it didn't work. Well, all those experiences are what I'm putting into use now. I failed at a couple of things which I'm not ashamed to share here. I've shared a lot of things here. But all those things, all those lessons are what is making me to be able to do this, to be at a place of telling you it can be possible, to be at a place of advising you, sharing my knowledge with you all. It's because of all these lessons. So to me, I can never lose a life. It's either I win or I learn. The next thing that makes people not to have faith is they want to have full control. Yes, I was like this, and I also shared this in that video, my journey with God. So like I said, that video, you've seen that this is the third time I'm mentioning that video here. That video is very, very necessary for you to understand this more because that is just like my life story. Okay, it can help inspire you, right? So one of the reasons that makes people not to have faith in God is they want to have full control. I've tried it. I shared that story in that video, so I won't kind of try to repeat it here again. There was a time I wanted to be in full control of everything. I was running helter-skelter, trying to manage people's emotion, trying to process what is this person thinking right now. I hope this person won't disappoint me. God, I was everywhere. And that is exhausting. There was no peace for me. I was disappointed at a couple of times. Sometimes I won, but that was at the expense of my peace. That was at the expense of my happiness. That was at the expense of who I am. I can't say I won if I lost me. No, that's not a win for me. I was doing all this, wanting to be in full control at the expense of who I am, at the expense of my peace. It doesn't worth it, guys. Let God do his thing. There's a name in my tribe, which is Chinecherem or Baluru Nanecherowim. So this translates to, God thinks about me. So there's no need for me to think about myself, and that is it. There's no need for me to worry, to overthink. When I have the master planner by my side, So stop trying to be in full control. You want something, you're passionate about something, tell God about it and work towards it. Stop trying to be in control. God, I was so crazy. Like, what was I thinking at that time? I will sit like this and I will try to imagine, what is this person thinking about me? How can I get into that person's head? Is that possible? No. But that is what wanting to be in full control does. It drains you. It leaves you exhausted. It makes you feel bad about yourself. You can't be happy. If you see how lean I was at that time. Guys, we've really gone through a lot. We've really gone through a lot. So the next reason why people lack faith is wanting instant results. Yes, I was guilty about this. Even this year, I really fell for this. Wanting instant results. I was working on a project, but I don't want to share about that now. And then things were not going my own way. And things, we are not as fast as I thought it could be. And I lost faith. I lost faith. To me, that doesn't make sense. The fact that you do not get the result now doesn't mean that result wouldn't come. Just keep believing. Just keep doing it. Like I say, just keep working on you. Working on things you love. Working on things you want to. Don't lose faith in God because you are not getting the result instantly. No. God is seeing you. God is watching you, okay? If you feel things are not going well, go back home, sit down, go to the drawing board. Assess your progress. Assess what you are doing. Try to find ways to make it better. I'm not saying because you have faith in God, then you won't put in the work. No, you have to put in the work. That is when you even put in the work. So put in the work there. Even if you did not get that instant result, keep working. God is watching. One day, we will go from all the no's to just one little yes that's going to change everything. The last part is confusing faith with feelings. I've talked about that and I wouldn't want to repeat that. But once we confuse our faith with feelings, it really does make us to deviate, to stop having faith in God. Because we think that, we can't feel God, then there's no need. But no. Like I said, the flesh is different from the spirit, from our soul. So even if you don't feel it, just know that God is there. And what you're working on is also there. Faith does a lot of things in our life. Faith unlocks healing. Faith gives us peace. Faith gives us strength. In fact, faith is just everything we need in life. I know we need a lot of things. We need patience. We need perseverance. We need a lot of things. But through faith, we can produce all those things. So faith does a whole lot. I can't even overemphasize this. Faith does a whole lot in our life. And I hope and I pray that you can be able to let God in. And I pray that you can be able to trust God again, even in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of everything that is going on. I just hope that you can be able to have faith in God again. So someone might ask, how do I start having faith in God? Well, it's simple. Go read God's word. That was how I started off as a follower of Christ. Man, I just went and read the word. I just fed on this word because sometimes all those preachers might, manipulate the word or might confuse us. But it's about you trying to learn about God by yourself. I always advise, read the word. Even when you watch all these videos or go to church and all those things are nice things, but make sure you read the word. Make sure you try to develop a personal relationship with God. Just try to do that, okay? I will advise everybody I know in this life. That is the best thing you can do for yourself. Stop going to God through your pastor or your priest or whatever. No. You can tell them to help you pray or stuff like that. They are cool, but just make sure you have this personal relationship with God. That was why He made the Bible accessible to everyone. If you want us to get to Him through some people, then He wouldn't come directly to us. When Jesus Christ came, He came directly to the masses. He didn't come to the house of the noble, the priest. No, He came directly to the people, to the masses. People He thinks that needs Him. Go and feed on the word. Read the word. Ask God for understanding. You can surround yourself with positive people. I just made a video talking about friendship and I also link it up here. You can go watch that. Surrounding yourself with positive people, people of like minds, is very, very necessary. And in that video, I talked about how you can make the right friends, the qualities you have to look at. So if you're having a hard time, surrounding yourself with the people you should, go watch that video as well. Most of all, talk to God about it. Yes. Whatever struggle I go through in life, I don't care how trivial people think it is. I go and talk to God about it. God, I'm having a hard time waking up early. I want you to help me with it. And it always does. He always pull through. You can also read about past victories, the story of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. There's a whole lot of them in the scriptures. So just trust God, believe in God. God is going to be with you, He's going to help you through. I didn't even know how I got here, but I knew it was faith. It's Christ, it's God. So give Him a chance. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful, and also if there's any topic you want me to talk about here, feel free to tell me that in the comment section. Okay, I can't wait to hear from you guys. I'm so curious. I want to know what you guys want, and I just want this to be a community that inspires, where you come and you feel at home. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. It's your favorite, the Miloka, and it's been great with you guys. Until next time, don't forget to stay positive and stay cheeky. Bye.